All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here tonight for our Monday guest speaker series. My name is Shannon Sheehy, and I manage the careers team for CodeU. So I am in charge of our wonderful staff of career coaches and tech employer specialists who help you all really closer to the end of your course as you're getting started with the job hunt. We're actually adding a really exciting new role to our team that I'll let you all know about as a reward for being here. But we're hiring a couple folks to help out with projects once you all are finished with the program. So we're excited to get the folks started. Before we get to tonight's speaker, just a few announcements to share with everyone. Our team is working on our slate of speakers. Let me pull up our upcoming speakers. We have speakers scheduled out almost through the end of March, which is exciting. So some that are coming up include talking tech to non-tech people next week. We have a mental health workshop on February 17th. February 24th, we have a talk on automation and controls engineering. And on March 3rd, one of our mentors, David Brundage, is going to share an app that he created and his experience in launching that on the App Store. I know that's a topic that's interesting to a lot of folks, so we're looking forward to that. Also keep an eye out. Our careers team is working on more engaging events. If you're in the Louisville area, we are working on an in-person event for, I keep saying the date wrong. It is a Thursday. I believe it's March 13th. March 13th. If you're in the Lexington area, we are promoting an event called Undercover Lex that is March 6th. So keep an eye out for a registration form for that. And then we're still in the works figuring out some events for our Eastern Kentucky folks in our Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area. So just keep posted to Slack and we will share those events as we have them, but we have some exciting stuff in the works. If you're a student from the August class, so if you started last year in August and you're attending as part of your career readiness requirement, please remember to fill out the Google Classroom form to get credit for attending. For folks who are in our January course that just started, you don't have that requirement yet. You're just here for the knowledge, and that's great. So we're happy to have you. A few housekeeping items. If you can please keep yourself muted as much as possible throughout the presentation. If you have questions, feel free to ask those. You can also utilize the chat or the Q&A. But as you're just sitting and listening, please have yourself on mute so we can minimize background noise. So tonight we are joined by Tina Phillips from Papa John's, and Tina is going to present to us Google Analytics Hub, a really cool data security tool that she found. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Tina. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. I am Tina Phillips. I'm a senior manager in the Enterprise Data and Analytics team for Papa John's. And I want to talk about Google Analytics Hub with you today and why we chose that. Just to give you a little bit of knowledge about us, we do use the Google Cloud platform for our analytics. And so that helped us with our decision making for this tool. So data governance is one of the things we want to make sure that we cover. Some of the big elements of data governance is data quality, data classification, data security, entitlements, data lineage, discovery, data sharing, which is why we chose Google Analytics Hub, and data cataloging. So with data sharing, what we knew we wanted was a centralized location when sharing outside the company. It's really, really important for us to make sure that we're not sharing data that is sensitive, proprietary to Papa John's or our customer data in general. So we need a centralized location where we can put the right kind of guardrails and allow for approval process. So we make sure, our information security team is happy with our shares. We make sure our legal team has sharing agreements in place when we share with other companies. We make sure we have an intake process to document how these shares are being requested. And I wanted something that was scriptable. Analytics Hub, you can absolutely use it and set it up manually. But what was exciting for me, that I could make it as a simple change management process because it is an actual script that can be ran. The other big one that I wanted to do was make it auditable so that we can actually show everything that's being shared and how it's being shared within that tool. I had hoped to demo the tool today, but I was able to see internal emails, and I cannot provide that outside the company. So I'm not able to share that, but I have a lot of really great information to give you about the tool and the information that I use to learn about it, a lot of how-to videos. So after this presentation, I plan to send that to this group so you can do that on your own. So what is Analytics Hub? So Analytics Hub it's a Google hosted sharing tool. You can share, as you can see, privately, and you might want to share privately. We may engage a marketing company that needs our information. It may be that a finance team needs to procure pricing information that's regularly updated for products that we use to make our pizza. So there's a lot of different ways that would be shared. You can also use this tool for public sharing. There's a lot of free or very inexpensive data sets out there that are public. When you access the tool, you can look at those. And then you can do it commercially. You can do it with Google as well. The other way that you have to share this is you have to set up a area. So it's either going to be a clean room, is what they call it, or an exchange. So you're really just creating that shell for the share itself. And at that point, you can really share, you can share an entire data set. You can share tables. For our purposes, we were thinking we want this very locked down. We didn't want anybody to be able to change our data that's outside our company or anyone we are sharing with. So we do it through views. So we have a data set specifically for that share, and the views that those individuals want to see are calling the tables. It allows us to lock down exactly what we want folks to see. But if you were a student and you wanted to do a team project, you could share this project and allow each other to make changes to your data set. By manipulating it, making changes, you can add more data so that it gives you a lot of possibilities for sharing. So the publisher of this project would be the one that creates the exchange or the clean room. And then you would actually set up the share for your subscriber. So if you're consuming data and you're looking at the data, you're the subscriber. If you're setting it up, you're the publisher. And there's a lot of really cool tools you can use to work with that data. Whether it's Tableau, you can use MicroStrategy, you can use Click, ThoughtSpot, Databricks, Trifecta, Vertex AI, and Looker. And if you're not familiar with Looker, it's a lot like Tableau, but for the Google Cloud. Any questions so far? Lisa?
So, I know when reading like privacy policies of various companies and stuff, they'll often talk about like sharing data with their partners and so forth. Is that so? This is one mechanism by which they do that.
This is, for us, it is our one source mechanism. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to share, they'll reach out and they'll do so through a request. We have an intake process where they can go and they can choose that as what they want to do. Then it comes to my team and another, and we start working to get that into a process. Number one, we would want information security to validate that we can and are allowed to make that share. We also would have a legal binding agreement with both parties, and that would be done through a sharing agreement. So we have to capture that sharing agreement is allowing us to do that. And then and only then we will start building the script.
Okay, thank you.
Did somebody else raise their hand?
We had somebody else enter, so I think you're okay.
Okay.
It makes a little ding.
Okay. And I actually, let me see. I think I'm at the end of this slide. Shannon, I can do one of the videos that shows you how to set it up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's see. Let me stop presenting for a second, get my videos up and going. Were you able to hear that real quick?
I cannot hear that.
I'm wondering if the sound will come through if I share a YouTube. It's a YouTube video.
I know we've shared some of our workshops. I think you have to, you share your screen, you choose the option that share a tab, I believe.
Yeah, it's saying share tab audio. So I think
yes.
There it is. Now I just play it from
the tab, it should do it.
To easily and securely share data and insights across organizational boundaries? Give me 1 minute and I'll show you how with Google Cloud Analytics Hub. Analytics Hub is an exchange platform that reduces friction for publishers and subscribers for sharing data, machine learning models, and other analytics assets within a strong security, governance, and privacy framework. For example, you can augment your analytics and ML initiatives with third-party and Google datasets. You can share assets with your partner network or within your own organization. And if you're a data provider, you can build out a monetization program. Because it's built on BigQuery, Google's petabyte-scale cloud data warehouse, there are no servers to deploy or manage, so administration is a breeze. As a data publisher, you can share data with as many subscribers as you want in real time without having to replicate your data. You can quickly build a catalog of analytics-ready data sources with granular permissions that allow you to deliver data to exactly the right audiences. Then, you can track and manage subscribers and see usage metrics. As a subscriber, you can easily find the data you're looking for, combine shared data with your own, and leverage the built-in ML, geospatial, and natural language capabilities of BigQuery. You can take advantage of the native BI support with Looker, Google Sheets, and Data Studio, or connect to any of BigQuery's technology partners. Analytics Hub is accessible directly within BigQuery, making it easy to publish, curate, discover, and subscribe to the assets that deliver immediate business value. So, next time you're looking to use shared data to drive innovation to new heights, take a minute to look at Analytics Hub. To learn more, check out cloud.google.com/analyticshub.
Okay. So, any questions?
Can you talk a little bit, Tina, about your process? I know you said that this was like a newer tool that you all were using. Can you talk a little bit about how you decided on this tool and just kind of when you're tasked with something like that, with finding a whole new framework or tool to use, how you go about doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as a data person at Papa John's, I partner often with information security teams and our data privacy and legal teams. And I kept hearing them tell me they were concerned with data sharing specifically. They were concerned it may be done through email in a lot of different ways, and they were having a hard time keeping up with it. So for me, I wanted to start looking, is there something we can do this in a centralized way that makes it, this is our framework, this is our strategy, this is the policy for sharing. So we started researching what was out there and available. And this tool was actually brought to me. It was several teams looking into this. So the data science team actually brought it to me to look into it because they were utilizing it for public data for their models. So my team, I actually have someone that leads data governance. We started researching that. And my lead loved it. Just loved the idea of it, but I needed it to be a little bit more. I can't manually do that. I don't have the time, nor does my team have the time to build everything to share manually. So I did a little research and found this tool is scriptable. All of the shares can be done through scripting, which got me really excited because then we can put it in a process. And as long as their approvals go through and everything is done correctly as far as sharing agreements, we can enter the script and do it as a change management process at that point. So we're capturing it on an auditing level. We're showing everything that the company's doing. We're completely transparent with everyone that's sharing. And it was a huge hit for our privacy and InfoSec teams. So this is the standard for now for Papa John's with sharing to utilize this tool. Since then, I do want to caveat some awesome things we found with the tool. I had a finance team reach out to me and they wanted pricing information. And I was able to actually find the company that they were manually getting that data from and build that partnership with Papa John's and that company to get those prices. And now we have a really great up-to-date pricing list that's refreshed on a regular basis. Did that help, Shannon?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for a lot of our folks, they're just getting started out. And so it's, I think, kind of daunting to think, okay, well, I know like this very little chunk of tech. How do I even go about finding, like, if I get tasked by my boss at a first job to find a tool, or I know like testing new frameworks and kind of like deciding between two different frameworks. That's something that folks get asked to do a lot. So yeah, I think it's just helpful to kind of hear about how people handle that in the quote unquote real world.
And I can tell you at a student level, I've suggested this tool to my son who's at U of L. He was taking data science classes. He's trying to learn this, and he's not a technical major. So it was a little bit difficult for him to get started. So I mentioned this tool where he could go out and get free. As long as he has his GCP project set up, he can subscribe to free data and build his models off of some of that. There's a lot out there.
Yeah, that's really cool. We had a speaker from Brown-Forman, I want to say a year ago, which probably means it was like 2 years ago, who demoed Looker Studio and some of the things he does with it. So yeah, there's some really cool tools out there. Can you talk a little bit about folks? So the audience today is mostly like new folks to tech or people who may be in their first tech job. Can you talk a little bit about your role and like beyond the tech skills, what sort of things are going to help somebody succeed in a data security role?
Well, I almost, like for myself, I started out as an application developer. So I lived that world for about 5 years. And like we talked about earlier today, it wasn't a happy path for me, and I went into data. I've been in data for over 15 years. So I've learned a lot, and I've seen a lot of changes. I think that you need to make sure if you're doing this in college, use what's easiest. I would recommend going and searching some of these tools, and I can tell you this one's super easy to use because it took me like 15 minutes. Super easy to use. That's a big thing you should look at is ease of use. But I wouldn't get hung up on any specific tool because I think really I've seen them change so fast and so frequently. I mean, Looker, when I started using Looker, it wasn't part of Google. And then Google purchased Looker and has changed it many ways. So, you have your full-blown Looker BI dashboarding capabilities. You have Looker Studio that's a very simple analytical tool that you can use to see things very quickly and easy. So ease of use is a big one. I would also say cost. If you're a student and you're looking, it's cost is a big deal. You're a student. You're trying to learn this. You're not trying to spend big money on these tools, and some of them are very expensive. But Google and a lot of the other companies will provide you access to the tools as students. Doesn't hurt to ask what they can do to help you. Let's see. How else would I approach it? I want to look at scalability. That's huge for me. Not all the tools scale up very large. When the data gets really, really big, you start having problems with some of these tools. So if it's a Google specific tool, if it's an AWS specific tool, or if it's Azure, you're probably going to have a lot easier time with scaling with very large data sets. And when I say large, I've seen petabyte-sized data sets, I've seen petabyte-sized tables. So when it gets that large, it gets very difficult to start breaking. Yeah, it starts getting difficult to move the data, and your data pipelines ingesting. So you really start having to look out there and get mentoring. Mentors are a great way to help you, guide you. Did that help?
Yeah, go ahead, Charlotte.
I just had a question. Is Papa John's so Are they a Microsoft shop? And so was bringing a Google product in, a difficult decision? Or I know I've worked in, Microsoft shops, and we try to stick with things that, are going to go across our Microsoft platforms.
I was not with Papa John's when they made that decision. I can speak to where I was previously, which was Global Payments. Global Payments chose it simply because of the analytics capabilities it had. For what we needed, Google provided a lot better analytics as far as visuals, and that's why we chose it. But we used other tools, and most companies will use more than one. We used Azure, which was Microsoft, to do large loads because it handled it better.
Okay, thank you.
Tina, there's a question in the chat from Amy, and Amy is wondering if you have any advice on breaking into a data role. She's coming from a healthcare background, and although she does work with data and auditing from a compliance standpoint on a daily basis.
Well, myself, I often have, I will take on mentors just singularly. I will help folks and train them. I've got one right now that I'm working with, and she approached me organically. She wasn't aware that I was in the data team. So luckily she got me. But we meet every other week. Give her challenges. I help set up access. So partner with the people in your company that can help. There's a lot of us that want to help and support data-centric folks. There's also, Shada, can I give shout outs to other groups in the Louisville area?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And BIT 502 is one that we partner with. BIT 502 will place individuals. It's very similar to a long-term internship, so they can move within different groups. I also help the BIT 502 folks with that. Thank you, and we'll talk to them about it. I have one that right now that really loves the group she's in, and she didn't want to be in the data team, but she still wanted to learn. So absolutely, I'm going to get her into the access for a very small, scaled down environment where she can't cause any issues, and am helping her as well in that. So I would reach out to schools, colleges. Your professors can give you some guidance too. I had some amazing ones to help guide me. I hope that helped.
Yeah, Brian shared information about BIT 502 in Slack the other day. We've had quite a few students, and I believe one of them is with you all right now, Tina. Chris came from our program. He's doing something at Papa John's, I believe. But yeah, we've had a lot of Code U students go on to BIT 502. And I would say too, talking to your mentors during class, if you're in a data class, likely your mentors are professional data analysts. So I'm sure they have a lot of really great background. And we've had quite a few students really do well with leveraging a healthcare type of background into a tech role, which has been really cool to see.
Yes. And even some of the conferences, I mean, we've got in the Rock IT coming up soon.
I think they moved it to the fall, but yes, it will be.
That one will actually allow so many students to come for free. I think we sponsor some of those and some of the other companies. And get out there and meet folks. Go to some of the happy hours and meet.
Yeah, we keep in Slack, the tech events channel has all kinds of events and conferences and things that we come across listed there. So definitely keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah. And then I would also, I'll send this link. I forgot this link. So Google has a really large conference every year called Google Next. And I'll update my slides with that information. The Google Next conference is a little bit expensive, but it's 100% videoed and recorded, and you have full access to that just by signing up with Google. And you can watch all those videos, and you can see past ones. A lot of them are on YouTube as well if you search for Google Next.
I threw a couple of those links in the chat if anybody's interested. Any other questions? All right. Tina, anything else you can think of, folks?
I can't. I really appreciate you all listening to me today and bearing with me. I'm not used to giving a lot of presentations.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Well, thank you so much again. We will have the recording available tomorrow, and Tina's kind enough to share her slides, so I'll have those and some resources that she's going to pass along as well. But with that, we will go ahead and wrap up. Like I mentioned, we have quite a few Monday guest speakers planned out really through March, so keep an eye on Slack where we'll be sharing those. Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.